Hey everyone, this is PX Mr. Collector. Welcome to my channel. Oh, today, what do I have in store for you? Oh, got a little bit of everything. I do. I feel like I'm in Toy Fair again. Yeah, you ready? Are you ready? Hey everyone, welcome back. Yes, thank you for joining me. Hey, listen, I am not sure which way I'm going to go because there's a little bit of everything in front of me and some interesting stuff. Yeah, and obviously some exciting stuff. You know, Super 7 is doing an amazing job when bringing back some of our amazing collections like they did with Where the Wild Things Are. Yeah, that took me by surprise, and I was really stoked about that. Also, there seem to be bringing back some things like Twilight, right? Some figures of that. So that's interesting. And then some stuff from the past, some new stuff that I don't even know what it is, but I think is really cool looking. Um, and then some collections that just keep on growing. Yeah, so yeah, are you ready? Are you ready? So here we go. Let's start off with something that I don't know anything about. Maybe you know something about it, but I am not sure if it's animation or video or maybe both, but this is from Super 7, and this is the Thriller Crew. And I just think he's the coolest cat. Yeah, Trilla Gorilla. That's who it is, Trilla Gorilla. So, and it says Trilla Crew Gear. So I don't know. Is it a thing? I don't know. See, see why I couldn't pass him up? I mean, come on. Look at that surfboard. That's one cool dude, right? Since 1984, pray for surf all day. Radical. Yeah, couldn't pass it up. Yeah. So freaking cool. And it is all about the hat. Yeah, he's slick. Right? Yeah. Okay. And then recently, my husband and I, we binged on The Umbrella Academy. And I didn't read up on what was going on when they decided to end it, but it seems like they ended mid-season. And it went really fast. All of a sudden, it ended. um, I wasn't really thrilled with the last season at all, but I was glad to see that in the last season, they brought him back. Yeah, pretty cool. And I believe that there is a collection of these that they actually have done all the figures. Um, this is Extreme Play, and it was from 2020. Yeah. Right? And then here are the other figures that they did. Interesting. All right. Yeah, and it came in like nice shipper box. So that was pretty cool. Right? Mm-hmm. All right. So, I believe in one of my other episodes, I showcase this guy, right? Yeah, I grew up with this guy. Interesting. He was quite a kid. So yes, I showcased him in a different video, but then I found this. So that was freaking hilarious, right? So I thought that maybe if I take him out of the box, that this would be a great backdrop for him. I don't know. Something to play with. But I was stoked about this. And this is actually, I'm not sure if somebody redid it. It's basically, scary jokes, which are probably not funny anymore, and riddles. But it's basically pictures from old movies and characters from the past, right? So thought that would be a fun little quick read. And then I've been working on my dioramas, and I have an issue with sometimes wishing that certain figures will come with, for example, a table. And because it comes like with so many accessories that belong on a table, and then I'm like, oh, if it only had a table. So then I found this company that actually does a simple table, and I thought that was pretty cool. Right, so I'm stoked about doing that because, like I said, I'm working on my dioramas and I'm having a good time with that. But I gotta say, it's time consuming, and I had to empty out a few of my cubes so that I could figure out how to redo them. And as you can see, right, my buddies are like waiting to see where they're gonna go, and I have no idea yet. So, but that's that like fun. And you see other characters, right? They're like, oh. I know, a little overwhelming, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, right? So, all right. So, like I said, they're bringing stuff back like Twilight. And I have been picking up some stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool that they did that. So, one of the characters that I really like from Twilight and was Victoria. Right? Yeah, and they were actually two actors that played Victoria. Right? But I also think that Barbie did the whole collection of Twilight, which did a really amazing job with it. And Victoria was pretty cool. Right? And then I also have Mr. Jacob. Yeah, looking good. Right? To think this is so long ago. Crazy. How young he looks. Like a baby. Right? Yeah, so interesting that's happening. And then interesting that this happened. What? Right? Yeah. And then there he is. And there he is carrying Bella. Right? So then this one actually comes with a thermos. Right? And a holder. Sweet. Yeah, this is just a paper to hold the thermos in place. That's all that is. I know. Right? So for those of you who have never seen a thermos, it's a possibility. So it's designed that you put your liquid hot or cold in here, and then the lid, normally the top, which normally they used to be bigger, you use it as a cup, right? So you put your little sandwich in there, fruit. Very cool. So there you have it. Yeah. Eclipse. Right? Yeah. And then from The Lord of the Rings. This is done by Diamond Select. And I kind of heard that they closing shop. I'm not really sure, which really sucks because they really did some great stuff. Yeah, so it kind of sucks, but what I understand is that the toy world is suffering, and especially some collections are suffering big time. Like I think like Ninja Turtles is what I heard is one of the companies that is one of the collections that is suffering, and it probably because we were overloaded with it and they've been around for so long, and it's a huge collection, and it seems like it doesn't end. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know. People just have enough of it, right? So in this Lord of the Rings, I thought I couldn't resist this guy because they did this figure of Frodo when he was in right? The Dreaming Pony. Ooh, sweet. And that is yeah, so I thought that, oh, I think that that is a really cool extra piece to add to your collection of Lord of the Rings in this scale, right? And as you can see, the features are pretty cool. And if you light it well, that could be awesome. That could be awesome. For example, like my rainbow lights on that could be pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, Diamond Select. Ooh. Ooh. um, I found these in a bag, and I asked my husband, when exactly did we get these? Because I we have a local candy store that has been there for a long time, run by Grandma and Grandpa, right? So God bless them. God bless them. You know, it's a really cool store, and they have a vintage collection of Pez, and some Pez that you can't get elsewhere because they've been there for a while. So I always crack up. You know, we crack up because we buy stuff from them. Like first of all, I can't eat that stuff, but we still buy it from them, and a lot of it is nostalgic, right? But it is the candy is so old that really you can't eat it. So we got a kick out of that. So I found these pets, and I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, Harry Potter. Right? Look at that. Yeah, sweet, right? And then this one, actually, the Pez candy is what flavor would you get? It's a mystery flavor, right? And you see the packaging is different. So that's pretty cool, right? Yeah. I literally just took them out of the package because I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta put them in the cabinet for sure. Really cool. Right? You know what's growing? My One Piece collection. Yeah, to the point where that collection is so huge and is so popular that now they're bringing bigger statues and some amazing statues and some really expensive statues. So I got to keep it in check because I'm enamored. I am so enamored with Luffy and his gang, right? So there are two worlds to One Piece. One is the animation, which is huge, and then they did the real version of it, the live version of it. And that one is a little more contained because of the special effects and I guess of the characters. They have kept it to a simpler form. But the animation, the creativity and the choices of the characters is like, yeah, it's freaking great. For example, Carrot. And this is the Granlund Lady. I know, not a great box. Oh, I love that packaging. Look at her. Look at her. Right? Isn't she the coolest thing? And I would tell you what it says, but I don't know. I can't read it. Look how great. Right? Yeah, One Piece. Yum. Yum. Right? I had to put it in the display case immediately. And part of that is because I was setting my display case and I didn't want to have it all set up and then go, oh, I got another figure to put in and then we had to redo it, right? So you know how that goes. I'm so ecstatic about the way that collection of One Piece is growing. Then, of course, I saw this guy and he looks so mentally twisted that I had to get him. Yeah, and this is once again part of the animation, and this is by Grandista. Yeah, Bandai. Look at him. Look at him. Yeah, Luffy. He's so cool. Right? Yeah. Right in front. Looks amazing. And I can't wait to get the 1/6 scale figure of Luffy and Zoro from Hot Toys. Yeah. Yeah, so exciting. So exciting. Right? So moving on. You see what I'm saying? Like it feels like Toy Fair, doesn't it? Ooh, and speaking of Toy Fair, actually, they said they made an announcement that they were growing that Super 7 was growing their Sesame Street line. And they actually came out because I just saw the really big bird. But that big bird, is about $300. So it's not like, it's cheap. Also, too, it's a pretty good size scale because I have the collection of Peanuts. And the boxes alone are so great, so cool that I don't want to put them away. I have them displayed and I love them. But I'm like, oh, do I get Big Bird or not, right? Because he really is cool looking. So I'm torn with that. But they also have been doing things like, and what I love about this is that you really should think about whether you want to remove them out of the package because I love how they did the box as a TV. That is awesome, right? I mean, look at that. That is so cool. And I love too that I think this is like the original box of it. And I remember when I was a kid that boxes used to have this and they did it where you connect the dots, right? Follow the numbers, connect the dots, and if you do it right, you're going to get an image. Yeah, it's so freaking great. So I am enamored with this. Now, I don't have the room to display my Sesame Street collection, but I feel like this needs to be on the shelf just because of the packaging and the way it looks. So that's pretty sweet. Mm-hmm. And of course, The Simpsons. You know, I'm still catching up with what was and what is, and there's a lot of what was. And I am so stoked every time I discover something else. So I had no idea of the different levels of figures that there were. For example, World of Springfield interactive figure. Who knew? I didn't know. And this is by Playmates, which I don't have much of. So this is Benjamin and Gary. And it says, I need to go to the bathroom. and and then it says something about guys has really sick. Right? Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Go Simpsons. I love it. All right. Mmm. Whoo. Super 7 doesn't stop. Yeah. Where the wild things are. Nice. Yeah. Here is Douglas. And they came out with the 4. Mm. And yes, I have them all. Oh, check him out. All right. Yeah, so in order from my least delicious one, which I love still, to my more favorite. Oh, yeah, he's great. And look how great they look together. And then, mm, love, love, love Carol. You know Carol. Yeah, it was awesome. Oh, that sweater. Isn't that great? Yeah, and then of course, there is no story without Max. Oh, right. Yeah. So good. I love his expression. Right. So good. Yeah, so Super 7. That's awesome. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Stoked. Okay. I have been celebrating my birthday. Yay, birthday! And I decided that I wanted to go away. And so one of the things that I haven't done in a long time is gone to an old vintage store or thrifting or any type of those stores, especially when it came to toy sections. And I was like, because I have enough of my own, but there I was, and I am so glad that I went and that I did it because I found some really cool stuff. Yeah, and I refrained, and there was some stuff that I actually put back because you have to be realistic, you know. I mean, it's like, how much stuff do you really need? But there were certain things that I couldn't pass up. And one of the things that I couldn't pass up with, I am so, so stoked. You understand. This was my childhood. This was my collection. One of my first collections when I was a boy. Could you freaking believe it? I know. So freaking good. Yeah. So I had no idea that this had even existed. And then somewhere not that long ago, I found out that it doesn't. I was like, oh. And then when I researched it, they wanted some crazy money for it. I was like, no way. So this I found in a small little town somewhere, and it said that it was complete. I, of course, did not believe that. And I'm so glad that I didn't believe it because I was right. It is not complete, but it has most of the pieces in here. It's in really great condition. And the reason we never heard of it is because the game actually sucks. Yeah, the game is not that great. But here, I'll show you what the board looks like. It seems a little different, right? Yeah, I know. Doesn't that look a little confusing? Well, I think it is. Yeah, so we're gonna try to play it, my husband and I, and see what is that what it's about. So I was so ecstatic about that. And in my future episode, I got some dolls to show you, and you're going to see some of the other stuff that I found. So yeah, so stay tuned to that, and also stay tuned to this episode because there's some really cool Marvel and Transformers and Batman, and Hellboy, like yeah, and there are a couple of those I can't even wait to open. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I look forward to talking to you the next time. Until then, take care of yourself. See ya.